Seers play an extraordinary role in Greek mythology. These figures, capable of interpreting the will of the gods and foreseeing the future, often appear at critical points in the stories. Serving as intermediaries for divine messages, seers not only predict the future, but also shape the fates of heroes and the course of mythological events. Seers represent the connection between the human and divine worlds and hold a central place in the religious and cultural structure of ancient Greek society. In this video, we will focus on the stories of the 5 most important seers in Greek mythology. So, let's dive into these legends. Tiresias. Tiresias is one of the most renowned seers in Greek mythology, and his story has been passed down through various accounts. Born to the shepherd Everus and the nymph Chariclo, Tiresias was one of the leading seers of Thebes. His mother Chariclo's close connection with Athena, being her beloved and loyal servant, bestowed Tiresias with a divine link. One of the most significant events in Tiresias's life occurred when he encountered 2 snakes mating while walking in the mountains. Disturbed by the sight, Tiresias struck the female snake with his staff, killing it. This action angered the gods, who transformed him into a woman. Tiresias lived as a woman for 7 years, becoming a priestess and mothering children. At the end of the 7 years, he saw the same pair of snakes again, and this time struck the male snake, reverting to his original male form. This unique experience caught the attention of the gods. When Zeus and Hera debated which gender experienced more pleasure from sexual intercourse, they consulted Tiresias. Having lived as both a man and a woman, Tiresias asserted that women derived more pleasure. This answer allowed Zeus to win the argument, but Hera, enraged by the revelation of female secrets, blinded Tiresias. Zeus could not undo Hera's curse, but compensated Tiresias by granting him the gift of prophecy and a lifespan lasting 7 generations. Tiresias played a crucial role in the tragic events of Thebes with his prophetic insights. Most notably, in the Oedipus tragedy, he revealed the truth about Oedipus's relationship with his mother and his tragic fate, marking a turning point in the story. There are various versions of Tiresias's death. According to one version, when the Epigoni captured Thebes, Tiresias left the city with the Thebans and died while drinking from the spring of Telphusa. Another story suggests that the Thebans sent him and his daughter to Delphi to be dedicated to the god Apollo, but he died of old age on the way. Even after his death, Tiresias's prophetic abilities and wisdom continued to play a significant role in mythological narratives. In Homer's Odyssey, he provides Odysseus with crucial advice about his journey, depicted as a wise and revered seer. Cassandra. Cassandra is one of the most tragic and captivating heroines in Greek mythology. The daughter of King Priam and Queen Hecuba of Troy, Cassandra was renowned for her beauty and was considered an important figure. She experienced the horrors of war, losing her brother Hector and many loved ones. Her greatest desire was to know the future and become a priestess. Cassandra's prophetic ability stemmed from her tragic relationship with the god Apollo. Apollo was enamored with Cassandra's beauty and promised her the gift of foresight. In exchange for this gift, he desired her to be with him. Cassandra, longing to know the future, accepted the offer. However, after receiving the gift, she refused to be with Apollo. Her desire to remain a virgin priestess was more important than the ability to see the future. Furious at her rejection, Apollo cursed Cassandra. She would have the power to see the future, but no one would ever believe her. Additionally, she would never become a priestess and would suffer humiliation as a woman. Cassandra endured great suffering due to the disbelief in her prophecies. Despite foreseeing the Trojan War and its outcome, she could not convince anyone and was forced to witness the war and its events in helplessness. Shortly after the war, she was raped by the Greek soldier Ajax in the temple of Athena. Later, she was taken to Sparta as a war prize by Agamemnon, where she was killed by Agamemnon's jealous wife, Clytemnestra. Cassandra's story has given rise to the term Cassandra complex in psychology, which describes the situation where someone makes accurate predictions about the future but cannot convince others. Cassandra's tragic tale has become a metaphor for many figures throughout human history. Pythia. Pythia was the chief priestess serving at the Temple of Apollo in Delphi. In ancient Greece, Delphi was considered the center of the world. It was believed to be the sacred site where the god Apollo resided and conveyed his prophecies. The temple, located on the slopes of Mount Parnassus, attracted visitors from all over the world. Apollo was the god of the sun, music, art, healing, and prophecy. The temple at Delphi was regarded as one of his most important sanctuaries. Pythia served at this temple, conveying Apollo's words to the people. Pythia was specially chosen to fulfill this sacred role as Apollo's priestess. She was typically selected from among middle-aged, unmarried, or widowed women. Pythia's purity and religious devotion were considered crucial for the accuracy of her prophecies. Pythia would prophesy once a month on the seventh day, which was believed to be Apollo's birthday. On these special days, Pythia would purify herself with sacred water, chew bay leaves, and sit on a tripod placed over a chasm in a sacred cave. A fire burning beneath the tripod was used to induce her trance. In this trance state, Pythia was believed to unite with the spirit of Apollo and deliver prophecies. These prophecies were often vague and cryptic, so the temple priests would interpret and explain them to the visitors. Pythia's prophecies had a significant impact on the ancient Greek world. Political leaders, warriors, merchants, and ordinary people would consult her before making important decisions. The belief in the accuracy of her prophecies enhanced the importance of her words. Additionally, individuals would seek Pythia's guidance on personal matters such as love troubles, career advice, and childbirth methods. Pythia's prophecies had powerful effects that could influence not only individuals, but entire societies and even the course of history. One of her most famous prophecies was for King Croesus of Lydia, who consulted Pythia on whether to go to war against the Persians. Pythia prophesied, "A great empire will be destroyed." Croesus interpreted this to mean the Persian Empire, but the prophecy actually referred to the downfall of the Lydian Empire. Another notable prophecy involved Pythia's consultations during the Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta. Her prophecies influenced the outcome and strategic moves of the war. In conclusion, Pythia was renowned as a prophetess inspired by Apollo and held a position of great influence in the Greek world under the name of the Oracle of Delphi. Her prophecies and consultations played a vital role in the political and cultural decisions of the ancient era, making Delphi a central hub of intellectual and spiritual life in ancient Greece. Calchas. Calchas, known as the son of Thestor, was a seer renowned for his innate prophetic abilities. He could foresee the future by observing the flight of birds and natural phenomena, and he served as one of Apollo's special priests, guiding the Greek leaders. Calchas holds a significant place in Greek mythology, particularly highlighted in Homer's Iliad. He is famous for his prophecies that determined the fate of the Trojan War. Calchas foretold that the war would last 10 years and mediated the dispute between Achilles and Agamemnon, indicating that the war would be a long and arduous process. When the Greek army was waiting for favorable winds to sail to Troy, and the winds did not come, Agamemnon consulted Calchas. Calchas revealed that Agamemnon had angered the goddess Artemis by killing her sacred deer, and that he needed to sacrifice his daughter Iphigenia to appease her. Despite his reluctance, Agamemnon sacrificed his daughter, and the winds changed, allowing the Greek fleet to set sail. During the war, Calchas also discovered the cause of a plague that spread through the Greek camp. By praying to Apollo, he helped end the plague. According to Calchas's prophecy, the plague would cease if Chryseis, the daughter of Apollo's priest Chryses, was returned. Agamemnon released Chryseis based on Calchas's advice, but this led to a major conflict between Agamemnon and Achilles, a central theme in the Iliad. Calchas's death is tied to an ironic prophecy. It was foretold that he should not drink wine made from the vines he planted. One day, he made wine and invited a fellow seer to taste it. As he lifted the cup to his lips, he laughed, thinking the other seer's prophecy would be proven wrong. However, he choked to death while laughing, fulfilling the prophecy in an ironic twist. Thus, the story of Calchas ends with his own prophecy coming true in an unexpected manner. Calchas's life symbolizes the powerful prophetic abilities of seers in Greek mythology and their sometimes ironic fates. His story helps us understand the political events of the ancient world, interactions with the gods, and how individuals face their destinies. Melampus. Melampus is one of the significant seers in Greek mythology, known especially for his ability to understand the language of animals. Melampus was a prominent seer and healer, known for his prophetic abilities and healing skills in Greek mythology. He belonged to the royal family of Argos, with his father being Amithion, and he lived alongside his brother Bias. Mythological sources mention his mother as Idomene, Aglaia, or Rhodope. Melampus's prophetic abilities began one day when he found a dead snake and its two young offspring under a wagon. Melampus buried the dead snake and took care of the orphaned young snakes. In gratitude, the snakes licked Melampus's ears, and this touch granted him the ability to understand the language of animals and gain prophetic powers. Melampus's brother wished to marry the daughter of Neleus. However, the girl's father stipulated that anyone wishing to marry her must bring the cattle of Iphiclos. Melampus, willing to take the risk, went to the land of Iphiclos and was captured there. During his year-long imprisonment, he learned from his ability to speak with animals that his cell was being eaten by woodworms. He immediately changed cells and soon after saw his old cell collapse. This event proved Melampus's prophetic abilities, and King Iphiclos recognized Melampus's value. Iphiclos released Melampus and gave him the desired cattle, allowing his brother to marry. The life and prophecies of Melampus reflect the wisdom of seers in Greek mythology and their deep connection with nature. His ability to communicate with animals underscores the power of the connection between the human and divine worlds and highlights the importance of the tradition of prophecy. Seers in Greek mythology remain significant figures of the ancient world due to their wisdom, prophetic abilities, and supernatural connections. Their stories help us understand the relationship between humans, nature, and the gods, and their prophecies are thought to have influenced the course of historical events as they came true.